Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my Married at First Sight review. This is season 8, episode 5, Till Mud Do Us Part. Okay, you guys, I want to give a special shout out to those of you who've been rocking with me since the beginning, and those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to give this video a like. Let's jump right into this episode. Oh, first, let me say that I took some of you guys' advice and I went and I found season 1 of Married at First Sight and I binge watched the whole thing this weekend, and I have some thoughts to compare Jamie Otis, who currently is the host of the Unfiltered 30-minute segment that comes on right before the episode. She was in season 1, Jamie Otis, and she acted a plumb fool when she saw her husband-to-be standing at the altar. She treated Doug so poorly. And I know she was trying not to, but I'm going to give her a little bit more rope, a little bit more leeway, because she was on season 1 of this experimental show with no expectations and no understanding of what this was. So her reaction to him, because she initially wasn't attracted to him, and it looks like she didn't want to say I do. And after the whole ceremony, she broke down like in the hallway of the venue and was crying, and people had to come over to her and like try to make her feel better. And some of his side of the family saw her crying about it. And then she did not even want him to touch her. That was so weird to me, because she knew she was getting married at first sight, and because she wasn't attracted to him, I guess she just thought of him as being some kind of monster who wanted to rape her. So she didn't want him to touch her. And I thought to myself, are you not somebody who even goes out to like bars or clubs? Like, are you just somebody in general when you first meet a guy, like, don't want them to touch you? And if that is the case, I think you should have told the experts that. I think that should have been a conversation between you and Doug initially. Like, hey, just so that you know, in normal circumstances, I don't get touchy-feely right away, or if at all, for the first, like, 17 dates. Because basically, you know, after their honeymoon, they moved in together, and they had 5 weeks to decide whether or not they were going to stay together. And she didn't warm up to him until 3 weeks into it. Finally, on their honeymoon, she allowed him to touch her. She literally didn't want the man to touch her, not to hold her hand, nothing. And it was just so awkward. I bring this up because when we talk about Luke and Sarah, Kate, Amanda, I don't know. Kate. When we talk about Luke and Kate, it feels like it's almost the same situation, and I am so angry at Luke, and I know most people are so angry at Luke. I think the difference with Luke is that this is season 8, and the fact that Luke is behaving like this after seeing this show, being somebody who runs speed dating, and for him to behave the way he did, it's just kind of unforgivable. Because at some point, I'm telling you, the man is just mean. Like, he just doesn't know what not to say. So anyways, let's go on ahead and back it up, and let's just talk about this episode of season 8, episode 5. So first, where we start off is, let's just start off with Luke and Kate. So in the beginning, it seems like things are going better for them. They're having a really sweet moment when they wake up. Luke has got Kate some tea. Kate says that Luke is sweet to her in the morning. He'll bring her tea. He'll do like little nice things to make sure that she's comfortable and that she's okay. They had a little cute discussion about when they brush their teeth. Do you brush your teeth before breakfast or after breakfast? He seemed really relaxed with her in the bed. It seems like things were taking a turn for the good. And then later on, Luke tells Kate that she is not his type, that he is used to dating dark-haired, dark-eyed women. Then we flash back to his interview where he's talking about all the different types of women he's dated, and he's mainly dated ethnic women. So he's attracted to a certain look that isn't Kate. And I think to myself, why would you tell her that? That is one of the worst things you could tell a woman. Honestly, I don't know that I would have been able to bounce back from that. If somebody tells me that initially they weren't attracted to me, I would be like, oh, then I don't want to be with you. I'm not going to accept somebody who grows to be attracted to me. And if I do accept somebody who, in an environment where we're working together and he grows to become attracted to me, and I'm not aware of that, then that's fine. But being aware that somebody who experts set me up with says to me on day 5 or day 6 that he isn't attracted to me and that I'm not normally the type of girl that he dates, that would hurt my feelings. And I would just be like, well, I mean, since men are so about attraction and all about looks when it comes to women, I wouldn't trust anything that happens after this. I would know that he's only with me because he felt like the experts said that we should be together, but he's not physically attracted to me. And that's a big deal for men. I don't know if it's the same for women all around the board, but for me, I'm at the point in my super singleness that looks really don't matter. It's all about hygiene and financial fitness and being kind and other things that aren't anything to do with physical appearance. Because a guy could be somebody who isn't conventionally handsome or cute, or somebody else might think this person is ugly, but if they dress themselves nicely and they look put together and their house is clean and their money's is right and their goals are in the right place, like, I don't give a fuck what you look like. Because I'm somebody who's open to love. Like, I want that. So I'm not going to block myself. Things that are so shallow and things that go away at any point. Like, beauty doesn't last forever. You feel me? So I can't say like, oh, this person doesn't look like what I would want to be with, and have that be a reason not to try and to make something out of it. Like, unless they just looked so bad that I was embarrassed to be with them. But Kate is not that by a long shot. Kate is like far from being ugly or unattractive. Like, in any circle. There's no one that will look at Kate and be like, oh no. Who would do that to her? Any person who's really open and desperate and looking for love. No one. So that leads me to believe that Luke is not right for this experiment at all. He was not ready for love. There are other women on the show who I could see other people thinking is unattractive, more so than Kate. She certainly has better eyebrows. I'm just saying. And even then, that wouldn't be an excuse to treat them the way Luke has treated Kate. Jasmine ends up saying in a little bitty confessional that she thinks the fact that Luke told Kate that he's not attracted to her is juvenile. And I think that's one of the only things I agree with Jasmine on in this episode. It is juvenile. It's really petty for him to tell her that. I know Luke is probably thinking that he's speaking his truth, but like, his truth is hurtful. In a 7-week experiment that you have to live with somebody, and you're telling them that you're physically not attracted to them. When experts have put you guys together, so you owe it to the process to really give it your all and give it a try and really try to figure something out. But no, not Luke. So anyways, that's the first infraction, and the ladies are doing yoga, and Kate reveals that to the ladies while they're doing yoga. The yoga scene was annoying because I was just like, Jasmine girl, like, what is your deal? Oh, I don't understand what's going on. How come she had her shoes on? Why did Christine have shoes on in yoga? Like, what was going on? Like, I get it. It looked like the shortest yoga segment of my entire life. It wasn't like an hour of like, Bikram hot yoga. And like, Jasmine was not even trying. Jasmine really got on my nerves this episode, but we'll talk about her when it comes to her segment. So when Kate says that, everyone is kind of shocked. Everyone is just kind of like, I can't believe he said that. You're really cute. What can Kate do? She can't feel better. The person that she is in beautiful Costa Rica with isn't attracted to her, and she is attracted to him. So that rejection is gotta be devastating. Then Jasmine asks the producer question of, so have you guys been getting intimate? And it turns out that Stephanie is the only person who admits to being intimate. I think Christine and Keith are intimate, but maybe Christine doesn't want to admit it because her family is going to be watching and she doesn't want to say anything. I feel like Stephanie and AJ are two grown-ass people and they don't care about anything and they're going to have sex. So, like, kudos to them. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's healthy. You get that out of the way. You figure out what each other likes. You're in a hotel, so you get to make as much noise. Like, do it. Jasmine says that her and Will are still getting to know each other, and sooner or later they're going to be close to intimacy. And I'm just like, oh, I didn't expect Jasmine and Will to be waiting, but I guess based on like Jasmine's, the way she's wanting to present herself right now, that makes sense. And so it's like, okay, if you're choosing not to have sex within the first 6 days of meeting your spouse, I understand that. The next scene we have is the guys. The guys get a chance to hang out by themselves and they go golfing. And Keith is absolutely terrible at golfing. I don't even think Keith has ever even seen anyone play golf, like ever. He is swinging that club like it's a baseball bat. And it's dangerous. At some point it like flies out of his hand and I'm just like worried he's going to knock somebody in the face. Like, I mean, he is really swinging. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Will and Jasmine. All right, so in this segment with Will and Jasmine, they progress a little bit, but move back. Like, their relationship, while I think it has probably the most potential to move forward, I think that Jasmine has some lofty expectations. I think that she has a good black man, from my personal experience. He's tall, he's dark, He's handsome, he's articulate, he has a good job. He's everything that I think that I would want in a black man. I'm not there, I don't know him personally, I haven't been by him, I can't smell him, you know what I'm saying? But from what I see, Will seems like a pretty smooth and cool dude, right? But Jasmine is putting all of these expectations on him that I think are unrealistic. And I think that it's coming from like a weird princess mentality that while I'm like, go girl, you know, fight for what you want. If you're a princess, be a princess. But if you're really looking for love, then you're going to have a lot of compromise. And I think that she's young or something. I think that Will is 37 and I feel like Jasmine is acting like she's 25 with her expectations. They have this cute little scene where they're both walking on the beach. She's wearing a cute little muumuu, and she says that this is her first experience on a beach, walking on a beach with anybody. And I'm like, girl, you haven't been to a beach before? Well, I'm happy that it's with Will. He seems like the perfect gentleman for you to be on this beach with. Feels like a really nice, intimate moment. You know, they haven't had sex yet, so they really are just filling each other out, getting to know each other, and it seems like it's really cool. Then later on, they go ziplining. And she says that she's a thrill seeker, that she loves to do like the ATVs, the zip lining, she wants to go skydiving, all this stuff, right? It turns out that Will is scared of heights. And Jasmine doesn't understand that. Girl, the way she behaves about him not wanting to zip line, she says that she's disappointed in him for not wanting to zip line. I thought, Jasmine, how can you be disappointed with somebody who doesn't want to do something that they're deathly afraid of doing? It's like, and not to cross over to 90 Day Fiancé. It's like Colty taking Larissa up to the skyscraper to propose to her. She's scared of heights. Like, don't take somebody who's scared of heights to the top. If a grown-ass man tells you that they're scared of heights, but still will come with you and watch you zipline, you should be grateful that that happened. You should be, you know, happy that he's still going to support you in something that he can't participate in, but he wants you to have fun. You can't force somebody who's scared of something to do it because you think that they're helping them to be a better person. That's not the way it works, boo. So then another segment when they're going to the mud bath with the group date, she leaves him behind on the suspension bridge. I mean, she's like, I walked slow and I was being helpful to get him across. And I'm like, no, you did not do any of the such. You walked across that bridge and left your husband to shakily walk across that suspension bridge by himself. We caught it on camera and we see that you're selfish. I don't know how I would be in this show, but after watching one season of it, I know what I wouldn't do. I know what to do and how to behave to not look like an asshole. Later on, they have this dinner date, and Jasmine's outfits look good though. Like, I can't knock her style. Every time she wears anything, I'm just like, ooh, girl, cute. Cute outfit, girl, you know? That red number she's wearing, she has a red crop top at some point, and she has like a red dress at some point, and I'm just like, yes, ma'am. Yes, off the shoulder. You guys know, we know I love an off the shoulder. I feel like I'm gonna have to get a red off the shoulder situation as well because it was so cute on Jasmine. After they had their dinner date, they talk about her dog, and it's like, whatever, girl. I was just like, fast forward, who cares about that? And the next segment with Jasmine acting a fool is that the group of couples go to a hot springs, and in that hot springs is like a mud bath, and everybody's putting mud all over themselves, and Jasmine notices that the mud has hairs in them, and so she no longer wants to participate, and she like sits out, and it upset Will. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe because she had a little bit of an attitude. But if I were her and I saw the hairs in it, I wouldn't have wanted to put that on my skin either, girl. Like, I was itchy just from watching them put the mud on them. Don't get me wrong, I've been to hot springs and I put mud on myself, but girl, if I saw hairs in it, I would be like, oh no, that's not for me. So Will was a little disappointed. I didn't quite understand why, but maybe there was more attitude happening than what I realized. After the hot spring situation, they're all in their different cars driving back to the resort, and they all get a phone call from one of the experts, and the experts give them homework, telling them that they need to think of something that is concerning to them about the relationship and something that they really like about the relationship. So the couples are thinking about it and they're going about their business. And towards the end of the evening, they have to meet with producers to talk about their homework and to do their homework. All the couples just do their time in front of the camera, say what they're concerned about, say what they feel good about. Keith and Christine have no concerns, just only are talking about what feels good. It's a little worrying to Christine because she says that she's just waiting for the other ball to drop, or she's waiting for the, whatever the statement is, she's waiting for the bad to happen, but the bad just hasn't happened. So right now she's just kind of taking in what the good is, but is also preparing herself for the bad. Maybe it'll happen when they get back home. And Jasmine and Will, I mean, whatever they said, I don't even remember because it was probably fine. And we get to AJ. Now, AJ is annoyed that the producers are asking them to film at this point. Like, he's at this point just tired of being filmed. He says that he hasn't thought about it and that they gave him no time. And since it was homework, it was supposed to be done at home. And the producer's like, we understand, but we did give you time. And he's like, but I don't want to do it right now. I don't feel like I should have to do it because I don't have anything. I haven't thought about it. It makes Stephanie a little upset because she's trying to get him to understand that they just have to do it. And it upset her because it's the first time she's ever seen him mad and having to have a conversation like that with the producer, like being like a little baby. So, I mean, they finally end up getting it and he agrees to do it after he realizes that Stephanie is upset. He says to her, were you upset because of the way I reacted? And she's like, yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen you get upset and I was trying to help you through it and you just didn't want to, you know? I think that was her basic sentiment. That's not what she said. I have a feeling that because AJ is one of those people who's just so happy and jokey all the time, that when he gets upset, he doesn't know how to manage that. Like, he just gets mad and then just feels like, you know, fire in his body and like a petulant child. And I absolutely understand that because, like, that's how I feel sometimes. Like, when I get mad, I'm not mad, I'm pissed off. And then everyone knows I'm pissed off. I mean, I may not react the way AJ reacted, and it's also different because AJ is like a tall, bigger man. Like, when a tall, big man gets upset, you automatically, everyone around them, I think, automatically feels a little type of way about it, right? Because this person can overpower you, this person is stronger than you, and you don't necessarily want to be around that person at that moment, right? Especially when somebody signed a contract to be on a reality TV show and producers are asking you to do your segment and then you're like, no, I don't want to. It's like, come on. Just do it. This is what you have to do. Like, you don't get to control production. Production controls you. They show us in the segment later on that it looks like he's going to get upset later on about something, and it's also going to put Stephanie off, which I don't blame her at all. Christine and Keith. Let's call them KK. So let's move on to KK. So their first segment is with them riding a bike, and for whatever reason, the boob cam on Christine is like extra. Why did they even have to show it? I mean, they could have just showed the long shot of them both riding the bike and having the conversation, but they continuously showed the cam that was on the bike all up in them titties. And I was just like, why was this necessary, Lifetime? Stop being like WeTV. So in this segment with KK, it feels like Keith is starting to bend a little bit when it comes to Christine and her working out. He says that riding a bike was really hard for them and that they didn't even go very far, but he was winded. And Christine was just appreciative that he allowed them to do something together that was working out. It wasn't specifically in the gym, but he allowed some space in his life for her activities, which I thought was really nice and sweet. He still really wants her to cook and clean, and we'll see how that works out when they get home. Speaking of home, we find out that they both live at home, so they're going to have to figure out where they're going to live. Money situation is going to be like tight if they have to move out because they're definitely used to living a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of this episode, all of the couples leave paradise and they're on their way home to figure it out. Before we leave, we have a segment with Kate and Luke, and it turns out that Kate and Luke had a kiss one night, and Luke told Kate that he was repulsed and felt dead inside. I don't know how Luke is going to come back from this. That was really rude. Luke seems like a guy who's gone out to a couple parties. He seems like a guy who's been out with girls, who's touched on girls, who's hugged on girls, who's been out on dates, who's done things. And like, I don't understand why he's so prude or something. It's fine if he is, but he needed to state that from the beginning. Like, I'm uncomfortable, I'm prude, I'm deeply conservative. I'm not going to want to kiss her. I'm not like repulsed by her. It's a kiss. She's not a monster. I don't know what happened, but there's no way that any normal person would kiss Kate and feel dead and repulsed inside. And then on the top of that, tell her. They have 5 weeks to go. No, they have more than that. They have 6 weeks to go. How is Kate supposed to come back from that? I would be so sad. I would be crying. I would be depressed. That kind of thing said to me would throw me into the worst depression of my life. And Kate is a troop, because I would have said, producers, that I need to go home. I would have been crying. All right, you guys, so I hate to leave it on such a sad note, but this episode just really bummed me out. Like, Luke is not there to find love. He thinks that he should have been more specific with the experts about what he wanted. Guy, you get the chance of a lifetime to be on a show where you get to be matched professionally by people who think that this kind, sweet person might be the one for you. And you say that you're not attracted to her and kissing her makes you feel dead on the inside. And that he doesn't like to do things under pressure. So why get on a reality show? Did he not watch this show? Does he not know that it's all about pressure? About opening yourself up to finding love in a very short amount of time. But the main ingredient is that you have to open yourself up. You gotta try. It's 7 weeks, and in one of those weeks, you get to go to a beautiful tropical country. What is the big deal? All right, you guys, so that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed this episode. I'm really enjoying doing this season. It's really helping me in my personal life to really be open to love and understanding what that would take and making space in my life. I feel like I'm learning stuff. I really do enjoy watching this show. Let me know down below what you guys thought of this episode. Let's have a kiki and a conversation in the comment section. And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.